How does a nation rebuild itself after years of conflict and turmoil? This is the question currently facing Syria. In the chilly winter of December 2024, the old regime of Bashar al-Assad crumbled, marking the end of an era of oppression. With the rise of President Ahmed al-Sharaa, the Syrians began to experience a breath of fresh air, a taste of newfound social freedoms. Intellectuals and activists who had once fled the country in fear began to return. The once stifled voices now echo in the streets, engaging in open political discussions and artistic expression. Yet, as the dust settles, the challenges lying ahead are becoming more apparent. Concerns are mounting about the future of democracy and the concentration of power under President al-Sharaa. While steps are being taken towards establishing free and impartial elections, there are whispers of worry about the lack of accountability and inclusivity in the transitional government. The role of Islam in this new regime and potential restrictions on art and culture also raise questions about the sustainability of the newfound liberties in Syria. Will the vibrant cultural scene continue to thrive, or will it wilt under the weight of religious and political restrictions? The Syrians, who have survived the horrors of war and lived under the shadow of tyranny, are now standing at the threshold of a new era. The old Syria is a memory etched in the minds of its people, a painful reminder of a past they wish to leave behind. But the new Syria is still a work in progress, a nation striving to rise from the ashes of conflict and turmoil. From the ashes of the old regime, a new Syria is emerging. But what does the future hold? To truly understand the situation, we must listen to the voices of those who live it every day. In the heart of Syria, the echoes of a war-torn past still resonate. Yet, in the midst of the echoes, a new chorus is rising. A chorus of voices, each one unique, each one Syrian. They speak of their experiences under the new regime, of the changes they've witnessed, and the transformation of their nation. There's a sense of liberation in their words. They talk about newfound social freedoms, a vibrant cultural scene that was once stifled. Intellectuals and activists who fled the country during the darkest days have returned, their voices now free from the chains of censorship. They speak openly of political discussions and artistic expression. These voices are the heartbeat of a nation finding its feet again. Yet, beneath the surface of these optimistic narratives, there's a thread of uncertainty. The future of their democracy, the concentration of power, and the role of Islam in the new regime are topics that stir heated debates. The voices speak of concerns about the lack of accountability and inclusivity in the transitional government, and questions about the sustainability of the newfound liberties. But there's also resilience in these voices. They've withstood the brutality of the past, the sarin gas attacks, the desperation of a regime clinging to power. They've known fear and loss, yet they remain hopeful. They speak of justice, not just for the horrors of the past, but for the future they are striving to build. These voices are not just recounting the past, they're shaping the future. They talk of their hopes, their dreams, their fears for the future. They speak of a Syria that is more than just the sum of its past, a Syria that is evolving, changing, growing. These personal accounts offer a glimpse into the complex reality of post-Assad Syria. While looking towards the future, we must not forget the past and the scars it has left behind. The shadow of the past in Syria is dark and heavy, marked by instances of unparalleled brutality. One of the most horrifying episodes was the sarin gas attack in 2013 under Assad's regime. In the suburbs of Damascus, the air turned deadly as the invisible killer descended. Sarin, a lethal nerve gas, was unleashed on unsuspecting civilians, claiming the lives of at least 1,500 people. The day is etched in the memories of survivors, a haunting reminder of the cruelty they endured. This attack was not just an act of war, but a gross violation of human rights. It symbolized Assad's desperation to maintain power, a man willing to turn to chemical warfare to silence the voices of dissent. The world watched in horror, but amidst the global outcry, justice remained elusive. Indeed, the wheels of justice often turn slowly, but they have not stopped. Today, survivors are seeking justice, their voices echoing in courtrooms and across international platforms. Investigations are ongoing, the stories of survivors serving as compelling testimony of the horrors inflicted by the Assad regime. Meanwhile, Assad, currently in Russia, faces war crimes charges in France. While it is unlikely he'll face justice directly, these charges send a powerful message that such atrocities will not be forgotten, nor will they go unpunished. However, the quest for justice is not just about holding the perpetrators accountable, it's about healing the wounds of a nation, about acknowledging the pain and suffering of its people. It's about giving voice to the survivors and ensuring their stories are heard. The past continues to cast a long shadow over Syria, but the quest for justice remains strong. The shadow of the past may be long, but the resilience of the Syrian people is even greater. The journey towards justice may be arduous, but it is a journey they are committed to, a beacon of hope in the darkness. As Syria navigates its new reality, the world watches and reacts. The diplomatic landscape has shifted drastically with the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime in December 2024. A vibrant cultural scene has emerged, along with newfound social freedoms, but the future remains uncertain. This uncertainty, however, has not stopped the international community from reaching out. One notable example is the recent visit from Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. This marks his first visit to Syria since the fall of Assad's regime, and it's a significant diplomatic engagement between the two countries, underlining the shifting diplomatic relations in the region. President Abbas's meeting with President Ahmad al-Sharaa in Damascus was more than just a courtesy call. It symbolizes an important step towards the normalization of relations, and perhaps more importantly, a recognition of the new regime by other nations. It's a clear signal to the world that Syria, under its new leadership, is once again a player on the international stage. However, this doesn't mean that the path to full international acceptance will be smooth. Concerns still remain about the concentration of power under President al-Sharaa and the lack of accountability and inclusivity in the transitional government. The role of Islam in the new regime and potential restrictions on art and culture also raise questions about the sustainability of the newfound liberties in Syria. These diplomatic engagements are a start, but they represent only the tip of the iceberg. For Syria to fully reclaim its place in the international community, it will have to address these concerns and prove to the world that it's committed to upholding the rights and freedoms of its people. As we continue to watch these developments unfold, we can't help but hope for a future where Syria is a country at peace, both within and beyond its borders. The world is slowly reaching out to the new Syria, but the path to full international acceptance is still a long one. As we have seen, the journey towards a new Syria is fraught with challenges and uncertainty. This is a country that has endured 13 long, grueling years of war. A reality that's reflected in the rubble of destroyed houses, the long breadlines, and the pervasive fear that touches the lives of its citizens daily. Yet amidst this backdrop of destruction and despair, we've heard the voices of the Syrian people, voices filled with resilience, with hope, with an unwavering belief in a better future. They've spoken of a vibrant cultural scene, of newfound social freedoms and open political discussions. They've recounted the horrors of the past, like the sarin gas attack under Assad's regime, but also their pursuit of justice, their commitment to holding those responsible accountable. We've delved into the shadows of the past, acknowledging the brutality and desperation that marked Assad's rule. Yet, we've also looked ahead to the future, considering the political landscape that's taking shape under President Ahmed al-Sharaa. We've examined the concerns about the concentration of power, the role of Islam in the new regime, and the potential restrictions on art and culture. We've also seen the diplomatic engagements taking place, like the meeting between Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas and President al-Sharaa, which symbolize a new era of relationships and alliances. But as we consider all these elements, we're left with more questions than answers. The road ahead for Syria is uncertain, marked by the struggles of transition, the quest for justice, and the challenge of rebuilding amidst the ruins of war. Yet the resilience and hope of its people shine as a beacon for the future, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can prevail.